Welcome back to Acrylic Arts Academy, where we teach the world to paint. Today we'll be painting this beautiful snowy mountain and river landscape. Join us step by step as we teach you how to create this artwork for yourself. For this 8 by 10 inches canvas painting project, you'll need the following colors: lemon yellow, pink, titanium white, purple, cobalt blue, and ivory black. We will also use 1/2 inch and 2 inch flat brushes, a number 1 round or filbert brush, a number 1 detailing brush, and a piece of cardstock. You may also use the edge of a palette knife if you do not have an old greeting card or cardstock. Let's begin by carefully extracting drops of yellow, white, pink, white again, and purple onto the canvas, starting from the center and extending to the upper and lower portions. You may add drops of color as shown here, or add the colors as you work. Following this simple method will help you create a beautiful gradient with ease. This technique creates a seamless transition background that mirrors the sky and water's varying shades. Now we'll blend a gradient. Use a wet flat brush to blend the colors using horizontal strokes exclusively. Begin with yellow, swiping back and forth as you gently move to the next color. You may wash your brush if needed between colors. Just remember to get as much water off the bristles before you return to the canvas. This blending method ensures a smooth and cohesive transition between the different hues, enhancing the overall harmony of the painting. Don't worry about achieving perfection here, just enjoy the motion of moving paint around the canvas while you capture a colorful gradient. Take your time and continue working until you're happy. Step 1. Rough outline of the mountain range. From the middle canvas area, start making mountain-like shapes with black paint. Vary the heights irregularly and keep the highest peaks in the center to add depth and dimension to the landscape. Create varying peaks of different sizes in any way you choose. Where you place the horizon line will depend on the nature of your landscape painting. If you're new to this technique and are trying it out for the first time, follow our lead until you get the hang of things. Once you have laid down the mountain range, let this layer of paint dry before moving onward. Step 2. Building layers. Using a small flat or filbert brush, paint with darker shades for the shadows and gradually add lighter tones. Medium blue with a bit of silver or light gray will serve as the shadow color in this example. Light gray, light blue, or white will be our highlight colors. This method relies heavily on layering to create depth and realism, so take your time and continue working until you're happy. Step 3. Texture and depth. Use different brush strokes to create texture and shape in your mountains. In essence, begin at the peak of the mountain top and drag color down and away until the brush runs out of paint. It's okay to switch between light and dark as you lay down these angular brush strokes. Clean your brush in between colors to create highlights that truly pop off the canvas. Don't fret if the paintbrush runs dry, the broken up paint will help create a realistic looking rocky texture. Take your time and continue until you're happy with the product. Now we'll paint the land on either side. These pieces of land will serve as the riverbanks in our landscape. Define the land on the left and right sides in a wavy style with a black color, leaving the central area untouched. Using an angular slicing motion will help you complete this step. Take your time and completely fill the areas shown here with black paint. Using a larger brush will make this step quicker, but will lessen your ability to control the fine details. Let's allow that to dry and move on with another piece of this painting. In this step, we'll add beautiful clouds to the sky using a filbert brush and white paint. If you have dirty paint water tinted with black, please pause the video and take a moment to clean your brushes and refresh your paint water. You'll be glad you did so. Once you have a clean paintbrush, use very little white paint with no water and a light tapping motion as you make clouds. You may also use a slight swirling motion to make variations in clouds. If you need to study this technique more, please pause this video and look at our easy cloud painting technique video. Once you grasp the concept, try this portion of the lesson again. Take your time and continue working until you're happy. Add fallen snow in the land with cobalt blue and white. Don't water the color down or apply too much paint. Use a tapping motion with the filbert brush to apply brush strokes similar to those used while painting clouds. Keep tapping these colors on while applying various brush stroke patterns. This technique works best when applied in layers rather than a bunch of paint all at once. Take your time and create a result you're happy with. Pause this video if you need more time. Grab your brushes and let's paint some snowy pine trees together. First and foremost, you'll need a fan brush. This will be the primary tool for shaping our snowy pines. Secondly, you'll need some paint. Black or dark green paint will be the backbone of our trees, giving them the depth they need. For the snow, we'll use white paint. Finally, a filbert or round brush is handy for those detailed touches, especially when creating the snowy effect. So let's gather these supplies and get started. Start by dipping your fan brush into your black or dark green paint. Hold the fan brush horizontally and start creating the pine tree shape using a stamping motion. Let's talk about this technique a little more. Use the entire fan brush horizontally toward the bottom of the tree. Tilt your brush to use the corner as you get to the top. This will help you create the narrower tip. Watch closely as we demonstrate this in slow motion so you can fully grasp the technique. Use the entire fan brush horizontally toward the bottom of the tree. Creating smaller versions of the tree follows the same principles. The key here is to adjust your handling of the fan brush. Let's break down this process into simple, easy to follow steps. Here's that technique again from a different point of view. Use a light tapping motion as you work and adjust the orientation of the brush as needed. Load your brush with paint as necessary. Before we begin adding snow, let's allow our base layer to dry. Using your round or filbert brush, dip it into your white paint. Now, let's add some snow to our trees. Apply the white paint gently, using a light tapping motion that follows the tree's formations, creating the illusion of snow resting on the branches. Remember, in the world of art, patience is key. Take the time to finesse each tree, adding as much or as little snow as you prefer. Now that our snowy trees look beautiful, let's add some reflections to the water. Start adding mountain reflections in the water with a very thin paint consistency. Thin the paint with water and remove most moisture from the bristles before applying the mixture to the canvas. Pull brush strokes straight downward from the land through the water, but do not go down to the bottom of the canvas. To add a frosty look to this reflection, clean the same flat brush, pick up a small amount of white, light blue, or both, and apply it in the same fashion. Use a piece of cardstock or the edge of a palette knife to add water movement by adding simple horizontal straight lines with white and dark shades of blue or black. Follow the technique here to add details to your painting. Add some bushes at the front with black using a liner brush to enhance the foreground. Adding these details will give this scenery a sense of space and distance. Load your liner brush up with black paint and create long grass blades by dragging the brush upward and at a slightly arched angle. Keep adding blades of grass going in slightly different directions as you work. Follow our lead here. If you need more technical advice about grass painting techniques, pause this video and take a peek at our 3 ways to paint grass video to learn more. Continue to add little patches of vegetation across the bottom of the canvas. There's no need to paint these uniformly, just add a few pieces here and there. Use a stamping motion to dot some additional details to the top of some of these blades of grass. Use a filbert brush and some thinned out black paint to add a few horizontal lines to the water. In contrast to the white highlights added previously, this simple step will easily contribute just a little more realism. At last, add some final touches to the painting by adding more white snow using a filbert brush and white paint. We previously added a beautiful layer of snow on these riverbanks, so this step will add a bit more highlight to the contrast of this painting. All you need to do here is tap on a little more white paint to punch up the highlights, and this painting will be complete. Well done! You finished the Snowy Mountain and River Winter Landscape tutorial. How did your painting come out? Let us know in the comments what you enjoyed about this tutorial, and please feel free to ask any questions you may have. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment or question. To continue your painting journey, visit acrylicartsacademy.com.